sword after the patch, or did they fix it? Is it only on like PC or something, or are people just bad? And Trigger, welcome. Thank you, Trigger. Is people just being bad and blaming the patch? Why would they jump to that conclusion? Like, why the hell would you jump to that conclusion? I was in this one fight and it didn't work and goddamn patch. Reckless Goat, welcome. Thank you, Goat. I'm gonna kill you, scalp you, and save your fashion, sir. There we go. Slice, slice, slice. We did it. Chat, we did it. We saved his fashion. That slice, 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 that was me scalping him. Do you think Cestus is a little too OP for parrying? Does he have the same frames as the buckler, half the recovery? I always, I guess it was more of an assumption than anything. I figured the buckler and the parry dagger, considering the animation and how long it takes, I figured that they had better parry frames. If it's got the same amount of parry frames, then I would say it renders the others useless. Yeah. I don't know if I'd say OP, but because to me it feels like Dark Souls 1 parry frames. Because they nerfed the hell out of medium shield, or regular shield parry frames. Yeah, I would say it's it renders everything else useless. If that is the case. Which, that is sad, yes. Pole6 Tip says, shameful promotion of my birthday starting in about 20 seconds. Everybody spam happy birthday, Pole6. Happy birthday, Pole6. Thank you for being born, I guess. Yeah, I think the buckler, someone needs to really test that, because I think the buckler has to have better parry frames. Like, that doesn't make sense. Then again, they may have actually have removed poise from the entire game, which, if anyone's not up to date with that, after our long drawn out poise conversation yesterday, turns out the video with all the testing and stuff was wrong. Judas and Alidi uploaded another video correcting themselves. And it turns out we were arguing, for anyone who was here yesterday, we were arguing about how I invaded somebody, I fought someone, and I traded with them as they did this. They did a rolling R1 with a straight sword. And the chat's like, oh, hyper armor. And I was like, no. I was like, no, that was poise. Because poise happens whenever you're standing up out of your roll, according to Judas and Elidi's extensive testing. And so me and chat had a huge argument, whether it's hyper armor or poise. And the thing was, everyone's saying, it's hyper armor, it's hyper armor. They had never tested anything in their lives. So, you know, of course I was very defensive about it. And then the moment I get done streaming, it turns out Judas and Elite release a video saying poise actually doesn't occur after your roll as you're standing up. Turns out they don't know what poise does. What this was, and before anyone's like, haha, you were wrong. We were all wrong. Every single one of us was wrong. Because it's not hyper armor, because you don't get hyper armor from a straight sword. It wasn't poise. What did it was, what messed with their testing was, it's based on your equip load. So if you have high equip load, and you're coming to get up out of a roll, you get poise or hyper armor in that sense. So it's equip load that was doing it. It wasn't the weapon's hyper armor, and it wasn't poise. The equip load causes that, which is really weird. So yeah, I don't know. So I don't think anyone knows what poise does. It really seems like they actually just turned it off, which is kind of sad. Basically, chat was right. No, because chat thinks it's hyper armor from the sword, and if I was completely naked and I did the same attack, I would get staggered. So we were all wrong together. There you go. What's the point of poise? We don't... nobody knows. It's reminiscent of Dark Souls 2, where we don't know. Does it not do this? I don't know how poise worked in Dark Souls 2. Wasn't it like some form of hyper armor? I have no idea. Does it not work the same as Dark Souls 2? I'm sure people have tested that extensively. Seems like the most obvious thing. It's fashion 10 out of 10. Thank you. I put on a headpiece because I took off the hollow ring. I was sick of having a significant defense penalty for not wearing a headpiece and wasting a ring slot. I decided if I'm fighting gankers, I might as well go as quote-unquote try hard as I'm gonna get, which is wearing a headpiece and using all my ring slots. Speaking of which, what's my HP? Not bad. Dark Souls 2 poise was basically how effective hyper armor was. Yeah, me and some people in my chat off stream were talking about that. If they did intend for poise to work like it did in Dark Souls 1, which they seem to have switched off. Okay, I already checked up here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, no hide and seek for me, sorry. If they did intend for it to work like it did in Dark Souls 1, then what the hell is the point of everything having hyper armor? That doesn't make sense. Like, they wouldn't have poise, like Dark Souls 1 poise in the game, and hyper armor and weapon arts that do hyper armor and all of this. It seems as if it had to be remotely last minute that they said, okay, scrap poise, we're going hyper armor. And they're like, but there's so many poise items. Everything, all the armor has poise on it. And there's the wolf ring. And Miyazaki was like, nope, doesn't matter. Scrap it all. Put hyper armor in the game. Add a few hyper armor weapon skills. And we're good. That's the only thing I can imagine. But even then, it's so weird that they would just like cut out the mechanic entirely. So, but here's something I noticed. Here's something I noticed in the video. I mean, I'm sure you're all aware of the video with where they say that poise in the coding is actually turned off, and they turn it on and they show what it looks like with it on. It's not Dark Souls 1 poise. It looks like it, yeah, but the thing is, what the hell did you just throw at me? The thing is, if you look, it's almost as if, I'd have to go and rewatch it, but from what I gathered, it's almost as if there's varying degrees of stagger. like that was stupid. Like they get staggered with high poise, and they do like a slight stagger, and then they oh, I may be dead. Please roll, please roll, please roll. You idiot. God damn it. GG. Oh my god. Yeah, they had like a slight stagger, and then he got hit with some more attacks, and it turned to like a medium stagger, and then it eventually broke his poise and it turned to a full stagger. So it wasn't like Dark Souls 1 where they had like the same stagger animation for everything. It was like varying degrees of staggering, which is, that's something that I've like whenever people ask me back in Dark Souls 1, how would I fix poise if I were given the option?